What does inclusion mean to you in your own words?
Inclusion to me means equality and equity among all students, no matter your background.
Perfect. What does your club do to ensure that inclusivity is a priority?
So I'm president of the Black Student Union, and what we do to promote inclusivity is we meet with anybody who'd like to come bi-weekly, and we talk about various aspects, mainly relating to African American students.
Perfect. What is something you wish people at Westlake did to be more inclusive?
I wish people at Westlake, well, I'm president of the Unified Sports Club, so I wish people were more informed about students with disabilities and how they can be integrated with typical students, just because it's really important that we have that one-on-one interaction.
In your own words, what does inclusion mean to you?
Inclusion to me means accepting others for who they are, and regardless of race, ethnicity, gender, and those stereotypes, and really trying to understand them and to appreciate their cultures and their identities beyond what we hear and beyond solely like what we see like in the media.
Perfect. What does inclusion mean to you?
Inclusion to me is the fair representation of all people of all races and genders and all backgrounds, and making sure everybody's voices are heard. Yeah.
What is something that makes you feel welcome at school?
I feel welcome if you girl.
You feel welcome with us. That's good.
Yeah.
What is something that makes you feel included?
I going sports.
Playing sports, like unified sports?
Yeah,
We're playing soccer right now. Super fun.
soccer right now.
What makes an environment inclusive?
Having fun at Westlake, hanging out with my friends in football.
What is something that makes you feel happy when you come to Westlake?
Seeing all my friends.
Perfect. Me too. How does inclusive education promote successful learning?
I think that at its core, people really need to feel like they belong someplace before they can do anything else, whether it's like play sports or learn or anything like that. So if inclusivity is something that is just naturally in the classroom, and the idea is that we want everyone here and we want everyone learning, that's going to make it easier for people to learn. Like if you're not comfortable or you don't feel safe, nothing else can happen next, whether it's learning or anything else. So I think it's fundamental, like foundational for learning to be able to occur, to have that inclusivity and just, again, sense of belonging, comfort, safeness.
Perfect. How does inclusive education promote successful learning?
So our motto in the choir department here at Westlake High School is I am because we are, which means when I'm successful, we all are successful. Everything we do is as a community and as a group, and when we include everyone, we're all stronger for that inclusivity. The people we include and the people who are inclusive.
How does inclusive education promote successful learning?
Well, I think there's a few different things, but if you're kind and not bully people for who they are or what they stand for, you're going to feel better, they will feel better, and that will definitely promote a better environment. And most of all, be true to ourselves and do what's right here, because that's the most important thing in our lives. Because if you're comfortable with you, you're going to thrive. I promise you.
Okay, so what steps have you taken through your role as an adaptive physical education specialist to promote inclusivity and further the integration of those special education students into a school environment?
So as an adaptive PE specialist, my job is to look at the least restrictive environment for our students. So doing this, we have an adaptive PE class, which is the most restrictive. And I've always wanted in a unified PE class. So that's kind of hard to do right now. So I thought, okay, how else can we get inclusion? So I work with Special Olympics like all the time, because my son also has special needs, and I've been volunteering since I was 9. I was like, how can we bring inclusion to our school through sport? Because for me, I truly believe sports is probably the easiest way to have inclusion, develop relationships and social, because it's just a social thing, right? So once I got everybody's buy-in and our administrators buy-in, everybody's like, let's do it. So I just started coming together, building these tournaments with everybody's input and working together. And I also had to get our students buy-in, our students with disabilities and our students without. So in our club, students with disabilities that are playing, we call them athletes, and our students without disabilities, they are called partners. So that we just can be able to know who's who, but it doesn't really matter because everybody gets to play.
In your opinion, how do these activities leave a lasting impact on both the partners and the athletes who participate in them?
So I think the impact not only is our athletes, our partners, but it's our community as a whole. And I think it greatly impacts because unfortunately, individuals with disabilities don't really get full access like me and you. We have the capability to make decisions anytime we want. Well, but our students with disabilities and our community members with disabilities, they're not really like that. They're still kind of supervised and have others making decisions for them. So when we all get to access this world of individuals with disabilities, it's kind of like a wake-up call because most people don't have that ability to be around people with disabilities. If you think about it, most of you guys are in classes with typical students, right? Maybe there's a couple classes, unless you're in like our art or choir or even ASB. That is probably our times that we have students with disabilities in our class. They're included.
For sure. That's why the choir and art and ASU is so important, because I think it kind of further builds the bridge between the individuals with disabilities and without.
And it gives you awareness. So for us without disabilities, it gives us awareness and the ability to understand others' differences, even more so, right, than just your peers. You all are different. You all have different likes, dislikes. Same with individuals with disabilities, but they might be a little different with like stemming or yelling or not being able to visually see or hear. So it kind of brings more attention because being around individuals with disabilities is kind of like it opens our minds. It opens our horizon to others, and that there's so many different people out there in this world. That's just one of the main things I love about it. It's just exposing you to differences.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree.